Welcome to Building the Empire, episode 2 with the Southern Boys. We have Tucker, Matt, and Aiden. We're going to get right into it and talk about our turkey adventures the past couple weeks. And we'll start with Tucker.
Well,
Any good experiences with your turkey hunting this year?
I mean, I got quite a few. I took my sister during youth season, called up one about 30 yards from her, and she missed. And then I went over to Ozark County, Missouri, and went with a couple of my buddies there, and I ended up killing a pretty good tom, 24 pounds and 11-inch beard, and his spurs were rubbed off from the rocks. But I mean, he was a super pretty bird, and then killed one hare this weekend. So far it's been really good for me. And I also got my girlfriend on a couple birds too before we came up here. So it's been a really productive season for me so far. So
And slam.
yeah.
Matt, what about you?
My 2025 turkey experience so far?
Yes.
Well, I went with Tucker to start out. We took his sister for youth season. We went and listened for birds the night before we went. I thought it was a pretty good hunt. I mean, heck, we got on birds right off the rip. We did roost a couple. We heard coyotes while we were roosting. I thought that was pretty interesting. I never would have expected directly after you would hear coyotes that you would hear some birds roosting.
So when I was roosting this past week, I would hear coyotes and they were getting them fired up.
Yeah.
Like they were making them gobble a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I'll be quite honest, I've never heard coyotes in the same general area where
Really?
turkeys have been roosting in trees, and I thought that if a coyote howls, you wouldn't
They wouldn't
hear
talk.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
hear them anymore,
You
and
think
that
it's
was
almost
wrong.
like
I was wrong,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think it's
Yeah.
almost like a shock gobble to him.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
like a hoot owl or something.
Yeah, and these birds sounded off when me and Tucker were going back to the truck, so that was cool. So we got them pinned. We come up with a game plan, and of course we got there. Tucker showed up late, as usual,
I didn't show up.
and we got out there. We had a great hunt. We were close. We had the birds. What do you think? It was
Like-
45, 50 yards.
Nah, yeah, about 40. We just couldn't see him in the
And-
brush.
But it was a great experience. I really this year really taught me a lesson with hunting. It showed me that I love hunting with youth, and that hopefully in the future I can do a lot more of it. Yeah. So opening morning we started off solid. We probably smoked every one of you guys. We had a bird on the ground by 6:10 a.m. You know, we got really lucky.
Pretty sure it was like 6:05.
Yeah, 6:05. So there's no way any of you guys beat us. We were we totally dominated in our area and got a bird knocked down on the ground, and then things went cold, man. Things went cold for me, but you know, we're the A team, you know.
Yeah.
So this turkey season, this is our currently. What's today's date?
The third.
What's today?
May 3rd.
The third.
Yeah.
We're, today's May 3rd, and we came up to northern Missouri, of course, to hang out with Brian, and he's been our guide all weekend. Done a great job. We've all tagged out, and that's pretty crazy. Where we hunt, we don't have field feeding birds. We have woods birds, and it's just cool to be able to experience the ability to see birds and go and make a game plan on how you want to attack them. We've all killed. It's been a great experience. We've been up here for 3 years now, and I absolutely enjoy it every single time. I mean,
It's a blast.
the birds in northern Missouri are thick, and the way you have, and they're not easy to hunt.
Mm-mm.
And so the challenge, even though you can see them, it's still a challenge, and it's fun to come up here every year. I enjoy it, and I hope that I get to continue to come up here in the future.
So you got one in southern Missouri, Aiden.
Yeah.
You
Mine's been pretty tough so far this year. I walked a lot of miles to get a bird, but I was really dead set on getting a government bird for my first bird of the year this year. He ended up being a pretty decent bird. I had put in like 3 miles that morning, and I was walking back to the rig. It just happened to be putting along an old road out there, and he just fired off. I set up, and it was a quick hunt, but it was a blast. And then they invited me to come along this year, and it was a blast up here. Totally different style than what I've ever done. It was really cool.
Tell us about your very first morning up here in northern Missouri.
Well, it was a morning.
You seen more birds than you
Yeah,
had
it was a morning.
in one season.
I didn't know which way to go. It was crazy. Coming up here in the dark, I kind of didn't get to see the landscape and stuff, so I had no clue what I was in for. And then, we get up that next morning, we sat down, or we get to the place we was hunting, and I didn't know what to expect. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we sat down, and they come from everywhere. It felt like I was duck hunting. It was crazy. They just come out
And you got to hear them pitch down opening morning, didn't you?
yeah, they were everywhere. We watched them come out of the woods, just one after another.
Mhm.
It's like nothing I've ever seen. We weren't fortunate enough to take one that morning.
Yeah.
But
They all pretty well hung up.
yeah, they stayed out well out of gun range. And then finally, I guess I just got tired of it and started to try to crawl across the field that didn't look near as soft as what it was. Ruined a set of camo opening morning.
Yeah.
Crawled to him and got to him to where I thought I could shoot, but I guess I was wrong. Deceiving out here.
So
But
you missed the first morning, then we move on to the next farm, and we try to get Tucker on a bird. See one. I kick them out. They run over there, and did you guys call him? Or how
No,
did you get
we just
We just dropped down into the creek, and we kind of just walked up to where we thought he would, right to where he should be, where we would pop up over the mound. And Aiden went up first, and luckily there was a bunch of grass, grew up probably about like mid-waist high, and he just peeked over, and I see him get down a lot like this, and he waved me up, and he said, "He's right over there," and I just barely just looked through the grass, and I could see his head, and so I just kind of belly crawled up through the grass, and I just got my gun up, just raised up out of the grass, and he was probably already like 40 yards at that point. So it was, so as soon as the dot was on his head, I squeezed off, and he just started flopping out in the field. It was,
So has Aiden told you why he waved you up there yet, or no?
no.
Go ahead.
Yeah, why?
Well, honestly, whenever I come up over the grass, I'm looking at this turkey, I'm looking it over, because if it's a longbeard, I'm gonna shoot it.
Well, I would have been like totally okay if you did.
100% gonna shoot this bird. But just, I guess the rain and stuff, and his beard was just plastered to his chest, and I could not see a beard on this bird.
So he waved Tucker.
So I'm gonna let Tucker shoot this, just in case it's a jade. So I drop back down, and I'm like, all right, Tucker, yeah, you got this bird. It's for sure a long beard.
That's
I'm
what
like-
you call a true friend right there.
He gets up there, and I can see this bird because I've dropped down in the creek now, and I'm standing up to where I can see barely the top of this bird's head, and I'm like, it's got to be a long.
But I'm not.
But you guys talk about the body size being so much. It's ridiculous how much bigger a mature tom is here
It's
than a
crazy
mature tom
because
at home.
sometimes when you see a hen, you got to do a double check.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
some big
Yeah.
hens.
And the past 2 years I've been here, there's been 2 bearded hens that I've seen.
Yeah.
Bearded hens seem to be quite a more common thing than we all think.
Yeah.
The past 2 years, we saw one today, and then I saw one opening day last year as well.
But yeah, when Tucker shot, I seen the beard, and I was like, gosh, this is gonna come back to bite me.
Yeah.
And I was really starting to think it was going to. I was pretty upset and just, not really upset, but overwhelmed
Yeah.
because of the amount of birds that were here. We tried, 5 different stalks on birds trying to reap.
Yeah.
This is my first experience reaping turkeys, and that was, that's definitely not the way
That
I thought it would go down, but it was.
That's
it
a
was
topic
definitely cool.
that we could go back and forth forever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
People say that it's easy. It's not easy.
It's proven it's not easy.
I have walked a lot of miles trying to get on a turkey and reap them, but just like tonight, you and I, we walked probably 200 yards and crawled 100 through the strutter out there.
Had to have been 500 yards at least.
Really?
By the way I was feeling when we got down there.
As soon as they seen the decoy, they just tucked tail. We just dropped back down, left the decoy on the ground, and just tried to sneak out around them.
Yeah.
But backtrack, while these boys were hunting your bird, I snuck around to the other side of the farm, and we're just so lucky and blessed to have the amount of birds and the opportunity to all split up and just go get on them. So I still have a tag left. I killed one Wednesday the first week by myself. I did a solo hunt. And then while you guys were doing that, I snuck around back and I killed, or I went over the top of the hill and I seen 2 longbeards and a hen. I threw the strutter up, clucked down a couple times, and I mean that was the end of it. They covered probably 200 yards in 2 minutes, and I might have called 20 yards. It was probably the easiest.
It's crazy how different every bird is. Because like the first 2 birds that we tried, as soon as they seen that decoy, they were gone. They didn't want any part of it.
Yeah. And then it's really easy if it works, but you got to work for it.
Yeah.
For it to work. And right before I shot mine, I heard somebody shoot down there, and I was like, all right, well, they haven't called me yet, so I'm assuming they missed. But I killed mine. I called you guys. You killed yours, so I just go help you guys, and we come back, and I'm like, oh sweet, like a double beard. I've never killed one before, and then you're like, you start looking at me like, no, it's triple. So that was cool as shit for me. Probably won't ever happen again. I mean, that's pretty uncommon.
Yeah, very uncommon.
So
Yeah, you don't see it every day.
that was cool.
We had a pretty cool hunt today. I mean, heck, we set up for the roost. We already knew where these birds were roosted. Unfortunately, they pitched down the direction we weren't anticipating it to happen, and we decided to back out so we didn't educate anything. We decided to back out because we had a hen. We don't know if we got busted or whatnot, and she pitched off. So we moved on and we did a little bit of scouting. We came across one full strut, and we come up with a game plan. And out of southern Missouri, we of course don't have the opportunity to just see birds from field to field. So it's a lot different for us when you can see birds and you can come up with a game plan versus the walking game plan that we're used to. So we were fortunate enough to come up with a game plan. We got to get all the way in, probably within 100 yards of this bird, come in from the opposite side on the farm we had permission to, of course through you, and within 5 minutes we had them right on top of us, and that was my first miss of the year. So I'll proudly take that one. I mowed a daggum basketball size hole out of that tree, but it was cool. We got to watch one strut in front of us for about 10 minutes total time, and got my first miss of the year in, so got the shakes out of me, and it was a great time.
And then spent all afternoon yesterday trying to get Aiden on a bird. Never happened. You guys sat there in that cornfield for what, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, we sit there
Quite
for a
some
long
time.
Yeah,
We had them.
We had some action though. I mean, that was our fault on those birds, really, just because of not anticipating the grass and stuff to be that high. I mean, the grass and stuff grows crazy.
We got into some stuff we didn't tell you. Like, we got into some stuff where I didn't have to crawl.
Yeah,
like when we were on your bird tonight, that was some tall stuff.
That was very tall. The grass is deceiving. I mean, it doesn't fool you until you get down low with it and actually try to get in there tight with them. You don't. It's a huge difference what we're used to. What we're used to is very brushy country to where you can get around pretty easy without getting spotted. Around here, when you hop into these creek systems and stuff, it almost fools you because it doesn't look like there's brush in there, but when you get in there, I mean, it's tall stuff, and you really have to be careful on how you make your sets and work your turkeys. one mistake, something as simple as getting put up against a very brushy tree. I mean, the way the birds work around here, they want you to come to them, and that's how it is. Unless you have a dominant bird that is willing to decoy, these birds around here, they want you to come to them. They'll come and show themselves, but they'll stay just out of distance
Yeah, they really
and
want to
make you work for
stay
it.
out and pop strut and then drop again, and then they'll gobble, and just try to figure out where you're at. Not necessarily trying to get to you, but trying to get you to come to them. And it might just be the abundance of birds around. They don't really have to.
I think it has a lot to do with they know what their ladies sound like.
Yeah.
and look
Speaking
like.
of ladies, you guys got to watch one.
Yeah,
get
we
bred.
watched
What was that
one
like?
get bred forever. Like,
Yeah.
forever. We got.
She
some
took
of
a
them
few
on
rounds,
film.
didn't
Yeah.
she? Yeah.
Yeah, two or three times around.
Daggum.
I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen one like actually breed
I had
him too, and
never
that,
seen
that
that
was
before.
so
That was
cool
crazy.
for me to just watch, and that experience was just cool. How they, I mean, he literally just strutted around her for a while, and then she just like laid down, and here he came. And I was like,
Did his buddy get around?
What?
I don't know if he was like the boss gobbler in this area or what, but like he would strut around her, and then the other ones would strut with him. But he was the one that was gonna go to her every time, and then the other one might have. They crisscross so much it's hard to tell, but it's really cool. Like a lot of the birds around here, they're real white on the top, and then the next one might be real dark on the top of their fan.
Yeah.
So when they're fanned out, you can tell the difference in them. But once they drop and start crossing and stuff,
So, our morning hunt today, none of us really had any luck.
They weren't really as
We all
fired
sat
up.
up and they're pretty quiet. We split up this morning and we had no luck, so we pretty much came back, took a little nap. Did we kill yours this morning or in the afternoon?
Yeah,
It was afternoon. It was afternoon,
yeah.
like 3 o'clock.
yeah, it was early
3:30.
afternoon. Yeah,
So, him and I are on some birds. Didn't work out. Tucker told us where some might be at, so we try to get on them. We walk about, I annexed it was like 950 yards.
yeah. I mean, we
through that
walked
creek
a
bottom.
ways. Yeah,
And then we found a goalie, is that what we call that, the
Yeah.
goalie. And we came to the top and we actually spooked a hen out. I was pretty discouraged because I didn't see anything else. And then I've seen another hen, and then she was pulling those. There was 2 longbeards, and she was pulling them across the field. But as soon as I threw the strutter decoy up, I mean, they didn't care about her anymore.
yeah. They just
And
totally.
They
left
just
her.
puffed up and started coming towards us, and that's one of the times where that tactic worked.
Yeah.
But I mean, we spent
And I mean,
long
we
time.
still called to them and
Mhm.
had to get their attention to know what we were.
yeah.
And I really think that helped a lot, being able to cluck and purr and stuff with them and get them to really know what we were and try to come to us. I mean,
He had a good set of spurs on him, didn't he?
oh yeah, there were one was 1 5/8 and one was just under 1 5/8. It's
So
definitely
some
the
really
biggest
cool
spurred
things.
turkey
Some really cool
that
things.
I've
That
ever
was the
killed.
biggest. Those are the biggest spurs I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And then the triple beard was
Yeah.
cool.
That is the one thing I have noticed about these birds that are way different than ours is like the spurs on these
yeah. The
birds.
spur length here is totally
Monsters.
different than around us.
Yeah,
And it could be the rocks around us, because I mean, as we were walking up that creek, I seen a rock on the riverbank, and that was like
Yeah.
the first time I'd seen a rock.
Makes you want to
walking.
pick it up,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I told Brian, I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, there's a rock." I was scared off.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, what you talking? But like,
could be too. Like these birds here have a lot more like nutrition that they can.
yeah, I mean,
Get
they've definitely got a good food source around here.
Yeah.
Ours, I mean, ours aren't unhealthy birds.
Right.
I mean, they've got plenty of acorns and just berries and brush and stuff they chew on. I really wish I would have cut open I guess you call it gizzard feed sack. I've always called it a feed sack. But just to see like what they're eating around here. But I mean, it's a pretty good idea what they're eating around here.
Yeah.
But it's definitely cool just to see the difference in hunting 6 hours south
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah.
driving up here, and it's just a totally different landscape and experience.
Yeah. Well, that's like even back home going just an hour west from where we
Yeah,
live,
yeah.
over in Ozark County. Like even there, I mean, it's just basically. I don't think that there's a flat spot there because I mean you're right in the heart of the Ozark Mountains and stuff. So it's like completely up and down hollers,
Yeah.
and like even then the birds there, like it seems like their fans are a little bit lighter than the birds back over in Oregon County as well. And their squares there, they have about that big. Like that one that I killed, his birds were about that big. But I mean, he was an old bird too, so I mean, he's been around for a while, been fighting and stuff. So I mean, there could have been a number of different things. But they do also have quite a few birds over there as well.
So we're all tagged out on Saturday except for Matt so far.
Yep.
Then we roll into this evening and we were able to find another flock. Got on them and
Kill the daggone longbeard, boy.
smoked. He'd have been a long beard next year for sure.
Yeah, he'd have been a longbeard next year.
Disclaimer.
I'll be quite honest, you know, the Oregon County hunting standards came out of me, you know. I tried to back away from them. We come in. We didn't know, we could see, was it 2 of them full strut or 1 of them
Yeah.
when we were all looking at it. And we come up with a plan. We tore off after them and we got in the creek system, of course, and we worked our way up. We got right up in line with them and popped over the hump. They were still pretty good poke from us, but they were working our way, you know, fortunately. And when I saw them, of course it was a Jake. He only had a little nub beard on him, and there was actually, you know, looking back at it now, I didn't know this, but there was a couple longbeards in the field, and you know my instincts told me, you know, don't, of course, shoot the Jake. So I started scooting away from it, and this daggum thing started walking towards me. And so, you know, unfortunately for him, he is currently sitting in a freezer sack. But I did try to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I really did. You know, sometimes things just don't work out in turkey's favors. So, you know, I am thankful, and I'm thankful I got to harvest a bird this year. And he will be ate up in the next few days, so I'm excited about that.
And that's another thing, we could go back and forth all day long. I mean, if you've got the opportunity to be picky about turkeys and, like, you know, just you're only gonna kill a longbeard, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like around us, growing up and stuff, like you don't miss an opportunity to kill a goblin turkey. It doesn't matter if it's got a 12-inch beard or a 4-inch beard.
Yeah.
Like a goblin turkey is what we hunt at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that last tornado come through at what, 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
I don't know if they can sense that and get out of there or what,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's totally changed the landscape where we're at. I mean, there's places that I can remember when I was younger walking through the woods and just looking up and seeing these big field oaks and stuff, and just in the hardwoods seeing big oak trees that now you can see 500 yards across there, and there's not a tree that's not broke off on the top. And it's crazy the weather we've had.
And it's also like they say that animals are weird like that too. Like they have like that sixth sense that we don't, and they just like have they somehow know that stuff is coming.
They're like Amish.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they are.
They
Like,
just
I'll be
know.
looking at the radar, I'm like, some bitch boys, you better get inside.
Yeah, no joke.
Take the harness off the horse.
Yeah,
And somehow they just
they just
They just know.
They just know.
They just know they're already like taking cover. So I mean, I don't really know if they do know how to get out of the way or not. But I mean, I like to think they do.
yeah. I
To
would
help
I would like to think they do.
Yeah, to help myself, but I don't know for sure. That'd be a question for a biologist. They could probably answer that. But
So how did the first time you guys came up here, how did that like come to be?
The way it came to be, I was selling snuff cups at a show. I have a product called Snuff Cup. It's a spittoon that's got several different little knick-knack features on it. And I was at a show in Kansas City, or it was Overland Park, Kansas. Basically Kansas City.
Yeah, somewhere.
And that's where we met, and we hit it off real good. We shared the same passions, and we stayed in touch. And next thing you know, if you fast forwarded a couple of years, we've been trading out, hanging out. It's not like we're just trading out hunts. We're buddies, and we try to get together a couple times a year. You know, we big into predator hunting back at home, big into turkey hunting, and same goes up here with you. So we're fortunate enough to be able to share a couple hunts a year with each other, stay in touch. We, of course, both own small businesses as well. I know you have the Empire hunting blinds and stuff, so it's really cool. We get to share our same passion and pursue small business. So,
And I'm gonna brag about you here, and you're just gonna have to take it. But I haven't met very many people. I mean, you're not famous, but people know you in public, and you were the first person I've ever met, and you were just a normal turkey hunter that enjoyed hunting. And the only reason I stopped there at the booth because I seen your screen with the coyotes and stuff, and I wanted to get into that. So we start talking, and then, you're like, so I just looked you up later night in the hotel, and I was like, he's got 500,000 followers, and he just talked to me like I was his best friend. Like, it made me so happy, and then you took care of me, for the rest of those shows. Because most of the shows I wasn't 21 and couldn't get a hotel.
yeah. Well, one of the things for me, like social media and stuff, a lot of people get caught up in having a little bit of success. I've had a little bit of success with it, and I'm very fortunate to have some, but at the end of the day, there's no sense in getting caught up in having a little bit of success and making you feel like you're actually somebody special. I know at the end of the day that I'm, no matter what, no more than just an average Joe. So some people just get caught up in the fast lane with all that stuff, and for me, no matter what, I always stay centered and grounded, and I keep my priorities straight, and I like to make videos, create content. I love to hunt. Nobody, all my friends we're all equal. There's nothing. Nobody is more special than the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always took that approach, and
seeing I think Tucker would agree, like your go-to is like, oh shit, buddy, like I'm just a nobody.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So with that, kids would come up to you at the shows, and you'd just be like, don't worry about it, buddy. Like, I'm a nobody. Come here and take this picture with me. Like, we're good.
Yeah, it's really cool when somebody thinks that you're someone special, and they want to come up, and you get to have whether it's a picture, a video, or you get the opportunity to make a new connection or inspire somebody. I mean, that's cool for me. I would like to, maybe inspire somebody to take the leap of faith one day and go out and try to tackle a mission or an objective, or, if somebody has goals, I'm a goal-driven person myself, so people who have goals in life are people I like to be around, and that's something that I like to encourage other people to pursue as well.
For sure.
See, I had like a total different experience meeting Matt. Like, I don't know if I've ever even told you this. Like, me and Tucker, we've been really close here the last, 5 or 6 years. We've been very close. And one day he was like, hey, he was with me. He's like, hey, I need to swing over to Matt's. And I had never met Matt anything, but I'd seen his Snuff Cut post and stuff, and I'm like, this guy's cool.
It was so weird. I'd never seen a single video or nothing.
Tucker had showed me some of his videos and stuff, just hanging out. You show each other a TikTok or something. It's just, and I get over there and I'm like, I really don't know what this guy's gonna be like. Like, is he gonna be one of these stuck-up guys? Because I've met some people before. Like,
I've met people not near as cool as you, and they're dicks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name drop or anything, but like some people that are very well known.
Yeah.
And I go to talk to them, and they're just like, yeah, here, I'll take a picture with you, or something like that. And the first time I ever met Matt, like, I walk up to him and I shake his hand and say, nice to meet you and stuff. And I was like, dude, you're like, you're pretty big. He's like, no, no. And after that, the first time we met, we just kind of clicked. It's just been, I've just been kind of added to the group of buddies we've got, and been very fortunate.
Every show we went to, did I ever meet you at a show, or did you just?
No, I wasn't at that one.
You weren't at Kansas City.
No, I can't. I think the reason why I wasn't at that one was because I was still in school at the time, and had class, obviously, but I think the first time that I met you was the first time that we came up here turkey hunting.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was.
You of course you went to a lot of shows with me and stuff like that, so we got to go experience the world. That was pretty cool.
That was fun.
Our line, they just never did cross until we came up here.
Because, I mean,
Within the first 5 minutes of
oh
him talking to me, he was like, "You gotta meet Tucker.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you'll get along so great with him."
yeah, and we do. We get along phenomenal.
I can't stand him, but
Two turds and a peacock.
Yeah. Brian let me come up here. I had a deal up in Iowa for a line job. I went to line school, and he let me come up here for a few days, and I stayed with him. We hung out and
froze our nuts off.
yeah, because Brian thought it was a great idea. He's like, dude, let's go counting. I was like, Brian, it's -15 for the real for the real
Dude, it was
10.
insane.
We went out there. We sat for 5 minutes. He said, "Yeah, screw this. Look
No,
at
dude,
my
I can't feel my hands.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Oh boy.
Well, we don't get to hunt in the morning, so I guess we all just get to sleep in, maybe
Yeah.
grab a Hardee's biscuit and gravy and roll out.
Tell you what, it'll feel good though. These past couple days have beat me down.
Yeah.
Just working muscles I've never worked
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Like hunting wise, I've never worked my shoulders and back muscles and stuff as much as I have just army crawling to birds and trying to stay tucked down behind a decoy. I'm used to you just walk. I mean, you stay behind the brush. You don't go out in the openings. You stay in the woods. And on the way up here, I was asking Tucker, I was like, "Dude, how much different is this than what it is where we're at?" And he's like, you don't even know.
No.
It's
Yeah,
totally different. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to feel like you're in a totally different state.
Yeah.
It throws you off. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
We're fortunate enough to have. If you come from where we come from, you have an edge in the sense of what to do when things aren't going your way
Certain
particularly.
situation. How to
It's
figure
very
out.
situational, but there's so many things I've learned since I come up here. And for me, it's not so much about the different turkey hunting tactics, and no matter where you live, there's turkey hunting tactics that are going to be successful for people all across the country. But up here, you got so much more than that. You got just like how beautiful the scenery is. Like, you can get lost in just how cool scenery is up here. Like the creek systems. I mean, walking in black dirt. I mean, daggum, my dad can't grow a daggum tomato plant to save his life. If I took a scoop of this black dirt just right behind the house, he'd have about 10 tomatoes this big around by the time I got back home. You know what I mean? It's just cool to experience everything up here.
And
With
really,
that-
our first time that we came up here, we got our butts kicked because we was trying to hunt like we did back at home instead of trying to hunt like you're supposed to up here. I mean, none of us killed a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was too nervous. I was just like, I mean, you guys drove the way. I was like, we're gonna hunt however we want. But I was nervous when 8 o'clock rolled around. I'm usually at Hardee's by 7:30.
Yeah.
You're nervous, you want to
Today-
get a biscuit
today
and
was one of
gravy.
I will admit to this. Today was one of my first experiences where I was at Hardee's at 7:30 this morning, getting a coffee and a burrito. So that was new for me too. There's always new experiences.
Like, they'll
The
be
way
here.
I was raised,
They'll be here when we get back.
You
We don't have to starve.
you brought your Hardee's breakfast with you. When I
You
went
brought your
growing
little
up with my
Debbie
dad and
cake, your little
stuff.
Debbie cake and your Gatorade
Yeah.
bottle in your vest. I
Yeah.
mean, you carried it with you
Yeah.
because you wasn't getting out of the woods
There,
until 10
there
o'clock.
about 8:30, my stomach finally growled, and I was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Man, I'm pretty hungry." He's like, "You didn't eat?" I'm like, "No, I didn't."
Like, I can remember walking out of the house as just a little kid with Dad, and I'd walk out, and the first thing he did every morning we went turkey hunting was walk right to the pantry, fill his thermos up with coffee, and then grab a handful of honey buns and shove them down in his camo pants. Like, that's what we had.
Yeah.
And, I mean, when the turkeys stopped gobbling off the roost that morning, like, you might have one fired up at 10 o'clock, and as a little kid, you're like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
And Dad he made me stick it out, and you're out there trying to open your honey bun without being seen just in case there is a quiet turkey coming in or something. And up here, I honestly like the breakfast. I'm gonna be honest, I like the breakfast.
I'm starting to come around. You know what I
I'm a
mean?
fan.
Like, that wasn't bad. That 7:30 pit stop was not bad.
I'm a fan of getting your morning set in and then just
Give them a
chilling
break.
out, driving around.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna see more birds when you drive around.
Yep.
And I really enjoy it.
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty laid back, but I'm glad all of our lives have crossed paths.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to never hang out with any of you guys again.
Yeah. Could go home and tell y'all to leave me alone.
Yeah. But I really appreciate you guys coming up and hanging out and doing this.
I'm thankful that you let us come up. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's been a
I'm
blast.
very appreciative you let me come with these guys. I mean, you didn't know me from Adam until I got here, and the first words you ever said to me was, "Don't make eye contact with my dog." I was like, this dog is gonna tear me up.
Make sure you throw this in there. Big shout out to mom and dad for
Oh yeah, 100%.
mom and dad for the
Oh
hospitality.
yeah.
Great food.
Great
Great
food, amazing
tacos.
food.
It's actually
There's this
go
like
after
super
this.
secret special dish of like cheese and ham and all sorts of cool stuff that
It's ham
tastes
ball.
amazing.
Handball.
And
Sandball.
the overall hospitality's been great. So big shout out to mom and dad.
Love them. It's great.
Shout out Onyx, please give me the free subscription. I would love that.
That shit's expensive for no reason.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, give me the phone number. What the fuck?
Like, bro, what's up with this
I don't care.
$99 a month deal?
I don't care who owns that land. I want numbers and email addresses.
I need permission. Like, I'm trying to ask people for coyote,
We'll
turkey
send them a
permission.
handful of
Like,
snuff cups. I mean,
yeah,
send them a blind, man.
like,
We gotta get
shout out
something going
Onyx.
on.
Make things easier on us, please. You know, like, give us the addy to the landowner's house, not like property address.
Tax address.
Like, oh, this guy lives in Miami, Florida. Like, that really helps me.
Yeah, like, so how do I get a hold of this old boy?
Yeah.
Send them a
He's
letter.
got birds on him right now.
Yeah, like, I just send him a letter and I might get a response back. Like, what are you telling
Write
me?
an old-fashioned letter.
But for
go
real,
get
shout out
some
Onyx.
people
I'm trying to get that subscription.
I think he's being serious.
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot. But that's it for Building the Empire episode 2. I appreciate all you guys coming up, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.